Hidden facts. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Another question, where's the manifesto? We're getting out first answers tonight. According to the New York Post, and we just learned this moments ago that Hale's writings could be released, but only after the FBI analyzes and, we assume, scrubs some of the content. As we told you last night, in Instagram messages to an old teammate minutes before the massacre, Hale said she left behind, quote, more than enough evidence, and that one day this will make more sense. Well, predictably, LGBTQ groups are desperately lobbying to keep it all under wraps. Media outlets, which are supposed to be interested in actual facts, are oddly subdued about the prospect of learning more about the killer's motives. Now, we have no idea what was in Ms. Hale's mind, why she targeted the Covenant School, but it is clear that if this is a case of anti-Christian hate, we all should know all about it, including how it was inspired. And no matter what her writings contain, they should be aired publicly and in full. We don't want some sanitized version. Now, let's state the obvious. If word leaked that somewhere in the manifesto she praised Trump, or that it included references against illegal immigrants or minorities, or if the shooter was, let's say, an NRA member who attended the First Baptist Church somewhere, if any of those scenarios were present, reporters would be raising holy hell for authorities to release all information. But not here. The fact is, Democrats and their friends in the press are worried that the more we find out about this disturbed young woman, the more we could see how the killer was shaped by this entire atmosphere we've created. Unstable people are especially susceptible to poisonous ideology. We already know that some of the left's radical fringe groups are viciously anti-Christian. Now look at how they attacked churches and pro-life centers over the last few years. And there's a trans day of vengeance planned for this Saturday. Menacing videos are being posted online to promote it. Now, not a peep about this from the DOJ, of course. And this week, Merrick Garland refused to address even a possible hate crimes angle in this Nashville shooting.
Do you plan on opening a hate crime investigation for the targeting of Christians?
The FBI and ATF are both on the scene, working with the local police. As of now, a motive hasn't been identified.
This is about politics, pure and simple. Now, Democrats have invested a lot in the storyline that white American Christians are the most dangerous people on the face of the planet. Remember, that group, they're the real enemies.
You have these young people who've organized online who call themselves America First. Really, I view that as a slogan, as a way to say we are white nationalists.
Christian nationalists believe the United States was established as an explicitly white Christian nation, and any threat to their agenda must be stamped out, even if that means violence.
If you're talking about people who believe in ethno-state or a religious theocracy.
Now, those people, the same type of people who are the good people, are those who embrace your gender fluidity and your evolving identity. But this shooting may turn that dynamic on its head. Thus, the framing that the Democrats will support is the one, of course, advancing gun control.
Why in God's name do we allow these weapons of war in our streets and at our schools? So I again call on Congress to pass the assault weapons ban. Pass it.
Now, he knows this would have zero chance of getting passed, but he doesn't care. It's a good deflection tactic for him. With a 32% approval rating on the economy, Biden does not want to talk facts. So he either hides them or he lies about them.
Extreme MAGA Republicans are threatening to undo all this progress. They're putting our economy in jeopardy by threatening to refuse to pay America's bills.
The Biden economy, yeah. That's not even worth responding to. The fact is, 2023-style liberalism, it's failing miserably all over on the federal, state, and local levels. Now, take the inconvenient facts coming out of our nation's capital. D.C. has always kind of been a perfect test case for liberalism. Its residents have among the highest per capita income in the United States, around $230,000, if you can believe it. A supermajority of Democrats throughout the city government, they run things. And what have they delivered? Well, homeless tents have popped up all over this city, drugged out zombies walking through Union Station and into the metro, office buildings half empty, and naturally, the crime is a huge problem.
Over the past 6 years of plummeting numbers of police, homicides have increased 75%, armed carjackings have increased 227%, armed robberies have increased 46%, and most tragic and alarming is that last year alone, the juvenile homicide rate doubled.
And the chief says they're down about 500 officers and a current police force of about 3,400. But council members in D.C., all Democrats, say this whole crime thing is overblown.
With regard to crime, while perception is important, the reality is less concerning. When it comes to crime, how people feel is important, but there is not a crime crisis in Washington, D.C.
Hiding the facts again. But there's no doubt about it. Criminals know that they have the upper hand here.
We need to keep violent people in jail. Right now, the average homicide suspect has been arrested 11 times prior to them committing a homicide.
So what's responsible for this? Guns? Well, D.C. has some of the toughest gun laws in America. No. You can thank Black Lives Matter and anyone who helped whip up the anti-law enforcement frenzy that led to the hiring and retention problems coast to coast. And let's not forget, of course, to thank corporate America for high crime, because they wrote fat checks to corrupt activists who bought luxury homes. So hiding the truth about how soft on crime policies destroy public safety, Democrats shift back to their old standbys.
Let's talk about what happened on January 6th. And we had well over 1,000 folks so far that have been arrested, and that was here. I'm sure that that's affecting the numbers for crime in D.C. when we're looking at that overall number.
Well, that sums it up in a nutshell. Democrats believe that old ladies walking through the halls of Congress taking selfies are a bigger threat than murderers and repeat violent offenders. Americans deserve the straight facts, not hidden agendas. On all the challenges we face, crime, the economy, our schools, China, our mental health crisis, if we're going to make any progress on any of these issues, we need leaders who are not afraid to tell the truth, no matter who it offends. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.